Oh wow, that's crazy. Look at the tach. Yeah, it just came in on the ramp and it's misfiring hard. I want to hold it right here. Alrighty, this is going to be kind of an interesting one. Hello everybody, good day to you and welcome back. Glad you were here. I know I'm glad to be here. Maybe this is going to be fun. I'm going to have to wrap my brain around some stuff here to figure this one out. What we've got here is a Toyota Camry, I think. Yeah, that's a Camry of the Toyota variety. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. It's of the 2009 year model, and it has a loud engine. It has approximately 110,537 miles on the odometer. Customer stated that they just left another shop and it used to have a check engine light somewhere and it used to be a blinking light. All right, let's see what we got here. This is the notes from the other technician at the other repair facility. It says, upon logging in vehicle, observe TPMS light on and flashing. That's the tire pressure monitor system. I don't think that's really the issue. Check engine light was on, track control light was on. Had electrical and drivability diagnostics performed. Inspect and advise cause for check engine light and track light on. Surges. Okay, here's our complaint. It surges while driving at 45 to 55 miles per hour, and check engine light starts to flash when this occurs. That means there's an active misfire going on. And advise on needed to repair. Okay. Technician initiated diagnosis. Retrieve trouble code P0304. That's a misfire on cylinder 4. They found the spark plug was caked in engine oil. The spark plug was replaced. Just one. Let's see. They inspected the cylinder. They found a bunch of oil on the cylinder walls. Engine losing compression at higher RPMs. It is believed that there is a failure of a piston ring. When consistent misfires are detected, the computer shuts off fuel supply to that one cylinder, thus killing that cylinder to protect it. Replacement of engine is required for repair. They seem to have sold them an NGK iridium spark plug. There was one of those for $18.96, and then looks like there was some labor to diagnose this thing. So it looks like we're rechecking this diagnosis because I'm assuming that the customer really needs to know if they have to buy an engine or they don't. I find this odd because it's not misfiring right now. That tach's pretty stable. I don't have a check engine light. Let's go ahead and bust out the scanning device and see if we have any trouble codes, and if not, we're gonna go for a ride till we get some. Before we do such things though, I do have their original spark plug here. Found it on the passenger seat. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. Let's see what we get in here. Okay. I mean, I don't think that's caked in oil. You know what? Hang on a minute. We're going to pull out the other spark plugs and verify their condition, because this is a little odd too. This is not an older spark plug. Yeah, I want to compare the other ones to this one, so let's go do that before we do anything else. Powering down. Okay, back under the hood. First thing we need to do is pop this cover off right here. We need access to our spark plugs. Well, that's nice. Look, all the connectors are broken off. See the little tabs? Those are all missing. I'm reluctant to believe that this car actually needs an engine. Just slightly. It may very well have a bad piston ring, but I'm a little reluctant to believe that. But we'll see. We will make an accurate assessment as best I can with my ability anyway, and then I can render an opinion. Let's see what we get. None of these are full of oil, that's good. Alright. This is number 3. That's tight. Wow. Yeah, that's an NGK iridium. Let's see, number 4. This is the one they said had oil contamination. I see liquid on this. So I'm seeing on this number 4 plug, it's like a little bit of a liquid, maybe gasoline or something. can't really smell it. So we've got number 4 on the right, number 3 on the left. We do have a difference here, but look, they didn't change the number 3 plug. That's an older one. See from that kind of crusty buildup right there. See that right there? Alright. Okay, so here's the number 4 plug that came out of the box. This is the one that was replaced for number 4. And then we've got number 3 right here. Let's go ahead and pull the other 2. Next. All right, here comes number 1 and number 2. So our order is going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the old number 4. Okay, these are all looking good. They've been in there for a little while. You can tell from this buildup on these electrodes here. But when compared to this guy, we've got some kind of contamination, whether it be fuel or oil. And this old spark plug definitely backs that up. So something is going on with number 4. We need to figure that out. Okay, moving over to the car, I just want to take a look into those cylinders if I can get a peek. There are more lumens. Something I want to see in here. I don't have my borescope. I wish I did. Alright, the camera can't see it, but I can see some reflection on the top of that piston. And when I move over here to number 3, I do not see said reflection. I'm sorry, I know you guys can't see that. Please take my word for it. And how about number 2? I see no reflection on that piston. All right. So the reflection that I referred to is just some kind of moisture that's on top of that piston. I don't know if it's fuel or it's oil. It's one of the two. In either case, they're not supposed to be there. Okay, so here's the plan. I don't know if this is gas or oil on this plug. So what I'm gonna do is put everything back and we're gonna go for a ride. I'm gonna bring the scan tool and we're gonna drive this under the conditions in which the misfire occurred. We're gonna wait for the misfire to reoccur. And then we're gonna see what live data says. I'm inclined to believe the fuel injector is leaking. And under loaded throttle, the leak is larger than needed and it's flooding that cylinder. Click. Okay. Here, let's toss all this stuff back together real quick like. Wow, I snuck in a spark plug changing video on you guys. How about that? Haha. Tricked you again. It's like a hobby of mine now. Sneak in an oil change and a flat repair every now and then too. Just keep things spicy. Four of these light clicks. Alright, let's hit the road. Get out of here. Alright, scan tool plugging in and powering on. Maybe. Beep. Yep, got it. Alright, let's hit the road. Restarting the engine. Scanner. Where are we at? Toyota, right? Toyota. Can't spell. There it is. and we are a Camry. Automatic identification. Okay, let's pull up codes and see if there's anything lingering in here. We'll check current. Nope. Backing up. Let's check history. Nope. Okay. And pending. What do we got here in pending? Anything? All right, so nothing's ready to misfire now, so we're gonna have to redrive this under those conditions in which was described and then see if that misfire shows up. Now, I think that the other folks have been following along with this for a while and trying to narrow it down, because it appears that they had recently replaced the entire set of spark plugs, then the misfire showed up, then they went back and found the issue with number 4 and then replaced the plug on number 4. Oh, you know what? Real quick before we go anywhere, I want to swap the coils from 3 to 4. A fun fact real quick, distance since DTC last cleared in miles has been 6 miles, so it looks like this place just left the other shop in question. They're not really in question, we're just verifying what they already did. But anyway, it's had 79 minutes of runtime, it's driven 6 miles, or no, 4 miles, 6 miles, yeah, it's driven 6 miles since they last had it in the shop. We're kind of starting all over regarding these codes to set. But again, if we just drive it under the conditions in which those misfires showed up, if the problem is there, it should present itself. So I just wanted to share that we are able to retrieve how long it's been since trouble codes were cleared. All right, backing out the auto. 2 honks for safety. Second honk. Uh-oh, the way is shut. Not getting through there. Well, I wonder if I can go through here. Nope. Backing up. Let's try this again on the other side of the parking lot. Okay, first acceleration, we have passed 40 miles per hour. No misfire, not yet. We're talking about higher speeds. So I think we're just gonna head to the interstate. Weird. You know, this test right here, or this test drive looking for the symptom, it may actually not present itself. I just had a thought that if there is an oil intrusion issue into that particular cylinder, then it will have to build up and actually carbon up that spark plug to impede the flow of the electrons before that misfire would present itself, because that misfire is coming from lack of ignition, and the only way we're going to get lack of ignition is if the cylinder gets flooded full of oil, which I don't think that that's what it's doing, or if that plug gets a bunch of buildup on it and then the spark no longer has a clean path to travel, and that also could be the situation. I know you're thinking I can just put that old spark plug back in there then try it, but the issue is I saw a bunch of scrape marks on that, and I think somebody plucked off all the carbon that was building up on it, so it would I don't think that's really a valid way to make a determination. Okay, we're hitting the on-ramp. Still no misfires. We've gone through and exceeded the high RPM range that they were discussing in the paperwork, and we're under load here, and I'm not feeling a misfire. I'm also periodically taking a peek at that scan tool down there, and I'm not seeing any fluctuation in the air-fuel ratio, so I don't think it's overfueling. If it was overfueling, I would think I'd smell it, and we'd probably have that misfire, and our data would tell us that it's running a little bit rich, and it would try to lean out that bank. So I don't think it's got a leaking injector. I really don't. So another thought that I've got on the matter, if that is oil that's coming in past the rings, there's a possibility that the oil control ring at the bottom of the piston, that's the wavy looking one, there's a possibility that that thing is just loaded up and gummed up full of carbon and sludge, and it's no longer given the pressure against the cylinder wall that's needed to scrape off the oil. So like I said earlier, I wish I had my borescope. It is possible that there is a bunch of sludge on that oil ring, and the oil ring is it's kind of flippy flopping loose in there. It's not making a good seal because of all that buildup. and that the ring itself isn't damaged, it's just absolutely filthy. We could attempt to clean that out with like some oil treatment and some good oil changes, but I think that's going to be a lengthy process, and that may not be the case. The ring itself could be broken, but we would have to actually disassemble the engine and pull the piston out to make that determination. My real problem with this car is it appears that that other shop has already kind of made a case study out of it, where they've put some plugs in there, and they seem to have documented everything reasonably well along the way. And I do believe they have concluded, based on repeat oil caking events on that spark plug, that it's an oil intrusion problem, which doesn't necessarily make it the ring. It could have a leaking valve stem seal and the oil's coming in through the valve. Either way, that's a engine disassembly type of repair. Either we pull the cylinder head off and then repair that, or we pull the engine block out and replace the piston rings. And I gather that neither of those two options are ideal, because after all, this car is here for a second opinion. But the trouble is the other shop's got all the data, and that's how they formulated the first opinion. So I'm kind of shooting in the dark, trying to come up with a conclusion on this situation without having conducted the case study myself. Let's see if we have any codes that are coming up. Nada. Well, if there's nothing current, there's nothing in history. Let's see if something's pending. Ooh, what? There it is. 304, cylinder misfire. P304, cylinder misfire detected on cylinder 4. Okay, so there is an issue. The ECM is detecting it. I'm not feeling it, and it's not giving me an indicator with the light just yet. It probably has not met the criteria to request the mill being turned on. However, it's on its way in. So we do have a cylinder 4 issue. Now, considering this is not my case study, I really don't want to repeat the same one that the other guys just did, because that's going to be a long-term process. But I think I'm going to go check and see. I want to rule out that it's got a leaking injector. So I think what I can do is I'm going to go see how easy it is to just swap some injectors. If I can flip 3 and 4 and then go drive it again and then check this pending code, if that misfire moves over to cylinder number 3, then we know it's the injector. If it stays on number 4, knowing it's not a coil and not a spark plug and not an injector, we've got to then conclude that it's internal engine, and different steps will be taken at that point. So let me get the Snap-on paycheck collection truck out of the way right here, and we'll get this back inside, and I'll see if I can't easily get those injectors out. Powered down. There. All right. The truck is gone. Back to the shop we go. Ring. Alrighty, so we're back under the hood, and I have found our fuel rail. It happens to be in the back here on the intake. It's usually on the intake. This one's kind of farther away. A little harder than I thought it was going to be to pluck the injectors out, but I'm kind of committed, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now, I do want to make it clear that this is not a normalized kind of testing procedure, and ordinarily I would not indulge in moving parts around, with the exception of like ignition coils or something, as an attempt to diagnose something. However, this particular case is a little bit odd, and we've got a shop that has condemned an engine, so I just want to do everything I can possibly do to prove that wrong. I believe they're probably right, because they've put in some effort into trying to troubleshoot this, but I think the only thing I can really come up with is that that injector swap, and see if the misfire moves. If it doesn't move and stays on number 4, then I can conclude we have a cylinder number 4 problem. Basically, I'm just trying to rule out that one particular injector is overfueling, but the overfueling event is intermittent enough where it's not triggering the bridge codes, and it's not throwing off fuel trims long term. So without any more jaw jacking, let's go ahead and pull these little brackets off that are in the way, and then we'll unbolt that fuel rail and get that thing plucked out of there. There just happens to be a couple little brackets I need to pull off. Those are held on with 10mm bolts. Let's get those off. Not like that, we won't. There's one. Yep. And another one bites the dust. So sad. It's down there on like a cross member. I need to put this in a lift to get that out. I can't see it. And it never made its way to the floor, which is bad. Here, I need to unplug that. It's just kind of in my way and I don't like it. There. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing here, but I'm gonna do my best. I bet it would be easier if I pulled this wiper cowl out of there, but I'm not going to do that. All right, we're going to find two 12mm bolts that hold the fuel rail on. There's one. And number 2 is around there somewhere. Down there, I think. Can't reach. Yet. I cannot reach yet. I will unobstruct my view by removing obstructions. Yeah, come here. This little baffle thing on the intake plumbing is in the way. Let's just get that out of there. Yeah. Now, how about that 12mm bolt? Where'd you go? There it is. Okay, the rail is loose. Go ahead and slide that guy out, and I'll unplug all the injectors. I'm not going to detach the rail from the unit, or from the line rather. I don't want to depressure. Okay, there's 2. Those are the 2 I want to swap, and they're not held in with a clip or anything. That's good. Let me see here. Is this thing direct injected? No, it's not. Yeah, you know what? I need to pull this thing out of here, disconnect the line. I'll do the injector swap on the bench, I think. Whoop, never mind. Injector number 1 came out. So looks like we're gonna swap number 1 and number 4. Cool. Yeah, here's 4. Look at all that build up on there. Let's see how does number 1 look. Yeah, here's number 1. It's got a lot of build up on it. And number 4, this is the one in question, so we're just gonna set that down right there. I'm gonna go clean this off and we'll go ahead and get it installed. All right, quick wipe me down. We're looking good. So the O-ring is still here at the top. There's an O-ring in the intake, and I can see it. I can see it if I look down. You guys can't see it, but I can. So you're gonna have to take my word on that one. But yeah, the O-ring's still there. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze this number 4 injector back into its home. Formerly the number 1 injector. Doo-doo-doo. Can you guys see me? Yeah, kinda. I know the angle here and the view is terrible. I will have no choice but to rely on my cunning linguistics to communicate my point here. Ow, that's hot. Yeah, that was communicated effectively, I think. Too much hot. All right, that injector is in. Let's go ahead and put the suspected faulty injector over there in the number 1 position. It's hot in here, guys. This thing was running for a little while. I'm again verifying and visually identifying the fact that the O-ring is in position in the intake manifold. So it looks like all I'm going to need to do here is just set this all back down, get it lined up, and then rebolt it in. Should be a fairly smooth process. And I said should. Yeah, I was totally supposed to remove this wiper cowl to get access to this injector rail. That is clear to me now. It's okay, I can overcome this slight hurdle through persistence and sweat. Definitely sweat, because it's hot. I'm even out of the range of all of my fans, which makes it more hot. Sorry for the flashlight in your face, y'all. I'm doing the best I can to do the best that I can. Okay. All right. All the injectors are back in. Let's reassemble everything here. And we'll hit that road one more time for that test drive. Okay, the fuel rail bolts are on. Let us re-bolt them. Click. Twice click. Oh, it's hot in there. Woohoo, let's try this again. All right, we are back on the road and I can feel the misfire right here. Like, I'm not getting the flash, but I feel it. So it is present. The symptom does exist, and it's not due to the carbon on the spark plugs, but I feel it right here. Okay, so at this point, I'm just gonna be waiting for a trouble code to set. I did clear these before I hit the road. I know I skipped that part, as always in the interest of time. But I felt the misfire. It is there. That has been confirmed, and now I want to see if we have a trouble code that was set, or at least pending. If it's pending, that's going to tell me the world. So going into codes, you know, let's just try current first. It might be there already. Nope. Backing up. Come on. We don't have all day. Pending. Not yet. Okay. Well, I know it's there. We're just going to head back out on the highway and do the same test drive we just got back from, and hopefully we'll see a code pending. I'll just leave that right there so I can monitor it. Now again, if we find that trouble code show up and it indicates cylinder 4, then that means we have a problem, probably a base engine problem, and there is something going on with that cylinder. If that misfire moves over onto cylinder number 1, I can then conclude with absolute certainty that it's that injector that is overfueling. And again, I understand this is not exactly the best way to troubleshoot this, but like we talked about earlier, somebody else already has kind of a case study going with this particular car with its symptoms, and I'm trying to not just repeat what they did, just so I can say, well, I didn't do it, so I don't know. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm assuming that what they did is accurate, and I'm assuming that their diagnosis is accurate, and I'm basically trying to prove it wrong, even though I agree with it. So that is what the scan tool is going to tell us in a moment, as soon as this thing starts to cough up a trouble code. So let's go head on up here. We'll hit the on-ramp and see what happens. Beginning on-ramp merging procedure now. All right, I feel the misfire here, and it's pretty, oh wow, that's crazy. Look at the tach. Yeah, it just came in on the ramp and it's misfiring hard. I want to hold it right here. Yep, there's our flashing light. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it right here and let it keep doing this until it coughs up that trouble code. However, this is not the speed that they described as the range in which this symptom presents itself. They gave me false information. They said 45 to 50. And again, that flashing check engine light indicates that the ECM is detecting an active misfire. Now watch, what I'm going to do is back out of the throttle right here, and that misfire went away. So it's only happening at like 50% load. Let's see if I can't make it do it again. Same speed, same load, same exit ramp. I'm running on a road, do it fast. And nope, time for brakes. Slow it down. Danger. Okay. If safety come to a stop, go right on red. And let's review our scanning information. Let's see what we got here. Codes only. Do I have current set codes or not? Really, it didn't set a DTC? That's not fair. That's fine, we'll go into pending. And booyah, yep. P0304, cylinder 4, misfiring. I don't know if this is no right on red, but I'm going. The P0304 code returning tells me that it's not the injector. All right, we're limping back in. I made it back to the shop. There's no more diagnosing or part swabbing I can do here to try to narrow down what the deal is. It's got some kind of oil intrusion into that number 4 cylinder. Now that's either coming through a piston ring or it's coming in through the valve stem seal. Either repair is a rather extensive and lengthy process, and I'm gonna have to go ahead and agree with the other shop that some serious engine work is gonna be required. It's either gonna be rebuilding the cylinder head, which I don't think it's the head, or it's coming up through the piston or around the piston somehow. So I'm gonna have to go communicate that regardless of whether it needs a piston ring or valve stem seals, it needs internal engine work, and we're gonna have to just go down that road if we want this problem to go away. That being said, none of that's gonna happen today. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this particular video out right now. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, you know the drill. Let me know about that by tapping that like button down below. Feel free to drop me a comment or two while you're down there. The algorithm likes interactions. And most importantly, don't forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. End of transmission. Hey guys, I got the gold here, but the problem is I thought I was taking video and I ended up just taking a couple snapshots of what I located. I'm down inside of cylinder 4 with a wireless borescope, and I'm gonna get better at using this machine, so we'll see more of this in the future. But if you look on the left side, you will see the cylinder wall. On the right side of the photograph, you're gonna see the top of the piston. And if you'll notice all of that etching or scoring and scuffing on the cylinder wall, that is actually damage to the cylinder itself. And I do conclude at this point that that was caused by some kind of a broken piston ring. Although it's most likely that it's the oil control ring, which is the bottom-most ring in the pack of 3, it's also possible that one of the compression rings is broken and that's what caused the damage. Regardless, we have identified irrefutable damage to the cylinder, and this is most certainly the cause of the misfire.